I'm back, y'all. Let's see here. All right, let me invite my co-partner here. All right. As soon as I get my boy Leroy on here, we're going to get started at the top of the hour. So I hope everybody's having a blessed day, and we're going to be getting started very soon. All right. I hope you guys are enjoying the group so far as I'm getting ready to start our meeting. So while we're going through this, this is the first time I'm sort of using Facebook Live on our phone. So I may not see your comments immediately, but I will answer your question if I happen to miss it. So be patient. All right. Test it. All right, let's see here. Looks like we're having some minor difficulties, but that happens. All right, there we go. All right, look at the get.
There we go.
All right, there he is, my amen. All right.
Can you see? Oh,
Wonderful.
hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on.
All right. He said he's gonna be back, y'all. You know, we have to start this thing 5 minutes early because we know people got to get their coffee, their water. You got to get your pens and paper. You got to get, prepared to write down some important information. So, you know what? This is a good time for us to start a few minutes early so that people can have time to jump on. And we know that we're going to have some folks that are going to catch the playback of this video, and we hope that it is very informative to you guys. So again, if you're watching this video, thank you for joining. We're going to be getting started in just a few moments, and hopefully within the next minute, actually. And hope that you enjoy this webinar for new entrepreneurs or existing entrepreneurs if you need some further information. So We're going to definitely get into that in about 1 minute. All right, it looks like he is back and we are ready to get started. All right. Y'all good?
I'm good. I had to go change my shit.
We like having fun. Yeah, we love having fun. Okay. All right. Well, first of all, if you are watching this live or you are catching a playback on this, we want to welcome you to the Businessmen and Women of Color group. And also, we want you to click like and share this video to share with your network for people who want to help grow their business or learn more about what they can do for their business. And again, I want to reiterate that our webinar, this 3-part webinar that we have, is really for really new businesses who has never been in business before, thinking about getting a business, maybe have started their business, but still have some areas in which they need to get a little bit of help. So, of course, my name is Ann Alston. I'm the CEO and founder of Alston Tech, and as you know, the host of the Businessmen and Women of Color podcast and admin of this group. And we're going to talk to you tonight about a few things, and that's my introduction. So we're going to get right into it because we got a lot to discuss on here. Again, please drop your comments and your questions below. Me and Leroy will try to catch them. If we miss your question, don't worry. We will answer your question in the comments below because we really want to know your feedback. Do you want to see more of these type of live streams in our group? Or tell us what you're really looking for in this group so we can be more helpful for you. So I'm going to start this webinar with Leroy. He's like, has his finger like all over the phone, right? And you need him to stop messing with our eyes right now. And go ahead.
I know. Trying to invite some folks.
All right. Go ahead and introduce yourself and start off with the importance of starting a small business. So I'll leave it to you.
Absolutely. Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody has had a great day so far. We're not going to be here long with you. My name is Leroy McKenzie Jr. I am the president and CEO of J&F Enterprises, located here in Baltimore, Maryland. And what we're going to do tonight is we're going to give you some strategies, techniques, information and knowledge on how to build your business, a successful business in 2018. And the question that I'm going to start off with this evening is what does your business look like in 2018? I want you to write that down. I want everybody to write that down. What does your business look like in 2018? Because by the end of these 3 webinars, which we're going to have, we have one tonight, we have one next Thursday, and then we have one the following Thursday. Hope by the end of those 3 webinars, it is our mission and our purpose is to have you be able to answer that question, and not only answer the question, but have those strategies and those plans, in action plans in place to be able to have your business better at the end of 2018 than here at the beginning of 2018. Today is February 1st. I think everybody knows that we are in Black History Month. So we want to, even though this is Black History Month, we talk about doing Black business 365 days of the year. So we want to make sure that you are as successful as possible in either starting your business or even growing your business going forward here in 2018. So we're just going to get started. I'm going to start off just talking a little bit about entrepreneurship and where we are in 2018 and going forward in 2018, because entrepreneurship is one of the things that is really people are starting to move, shifting into. So the entrepreneurship shift is really going on because you have a lot of people who have been and are either unhappy on their jobs or they're looking for additional income for their lives and everything like that. So they either want to start a business, a home-based business. They want to start a business on their own where they go full time with it, or whatever the case may be. And that's what we want to help you to be able to do this evening, since this shift is taking place, and we want people to be successful in doing this shift, because one of the drawbacks of entrepreneurship is that um, over a great percentage of entrepreneurs that start their businesses fail. So the question is how are you going to position yourself to be one of the successful businesses that make it within that first 5 years? And that's what we want to give you. We want to give you those tools. We want to give you those resources, the information that will assist you in being able to do that. Because once your doors are open, we want your door to stay, or we want your doors to stay open for business. So that's just a little bit about the trends that are going on with entrepreneurship, and how people are shifting and their mindset. And we in entrepreneurship, and Ann will tell you, and anyone else who has started a business will tell you, this journey of entrepreneurship is not one that is easy. It's not easy, and it is not for the faint at heart. This entrepreneurship journey will have you where you have to be thick skinned, you have to be tough skinned, you have to have the determination mindset that you have to be able to accept no's. You're going to get more no's than you get yeses in what you're doing. So you have to understand that there's some tweaking, and there's always adjustments that you have to be able to do and adjust to when you're being an entrepreneur. And that's one of the things that we're going to talk about with the business plan, and how important having a business plan is for being successful. And that's one of the first things that we're going to talk about. But I'm going to cover three things in what I'm going to be talking about, and Ann's going to chime in where she wants to add some information, and then she's going to talk about some additional information. We want to give you all as much information in this hour, the 60 minutes that we can. We may not be able to give it all to you, but what we're going to give you tonight will be impactful. Trust me. So the first thing that we're going to talk about, I'm going to talk about three things to begin with. I'm going to talk about your vision, your purpose, and then your brand. And what that is to me is, it's going to be three things, and I want you to write down these three things. Your vision is, you have, when it comes to entrepreneurship, you're going to have it's three stages. And those three stages are: write it, see it, write it, and work it. And I'm going to say that again: see it, write it, and then work it. You have to see it, which is your vision. What is your vision that you have for your business? Where is it that you see your business being in 2018? Because if you don't see it, then you won't be able to bring it to fruition. You have to understand where you are, and then where it is that you want to be able to get to. So it's very important that you have a vision for your business, and what you see your business doing. So the first one is your vision, and that's seeing it. What is it that you see? That's the question that you see. And at the end of this, you're going to have what I call assignments, and a minimum of 10 assignments. So one of your assignments, or part of your assignment, is writing your vision. What is your vision that you have for your business? So that's where you're going to be your starting point. The second thing is, you got to write it. You've got to write it, and that means having a business plan. Many businesses don't. Some folks feel don't have business plans, and some people do. The majority of people, I guarantee you, most people that are successful have a business plan. And a business plan is nothing more than taking what you have in your head, writing it down, so that you have an understanding of, you have a plan of where it is that you are, and then where it is that you're going. You wouldn't get into your car and have a destination that you had to get to, and you didn't know how to get there, right? You have a destination, but you weren't familiar with how to get there. So what do you do when you get in your car? You put the destination in your navigation system, and what the navigation system does for you is it gives you a roadmap on how to get to where it is that you're trying to get to. Same thing with your business. You've got to put your business address into your mental GPS and write it, your physical GPS, and write down how you're going to get there. So the second thing is having your business plan, and that includes we'll talk a little bit about what the business plan should entail, because it should be, and your business plan is nothing more than your blueprint for what you want to do and how you're going to do it. And your business plan is an ongoing document. It is something that it's going to change. It's going to manifest itself. It's going to change. It may change from one year to the next, and you should be taking a look at your business plan on a year to year basis, because you should be understanding what you do well, what you don't do well, what you did this year versus what you did last year, what trends were happening in a particular year, what trends were didn't happen this year that you thought might have happened. Your forecasting, your financials, what your projections are as far as how much money you're going to make. You can't you can't have a business and not understand how much money that you're projecting to make and that you want to make, without having that idea. And especially if you are going into a business that you're going to need a loan, or you're going to be needing investors, it is vital. Let me tell you, it is vital that you have a business plan, because that's going to be the first thing that they ask you. And if you don't have that business plan, they're not going to take you seriously. They will not take you seriously. And why should they? Why should they take you seriously when you aren't being serious about your business and you can't show on to be able to invest in you? So the second thing is having that business plan, making sure that you have a business plan to be able to put into place, so that you can be strategic about what you're doing and where you're going. You wouldn't build a house without having an architect do a blueprint for that house, because you need to know where the bedroom's going. You need to know how big the bedroom is, how big your living room is, how big your kitchen is, what things go in your kitchen are going in your kitchen. All of those things are a part of what the architect needs in order to be able to build that house. The same thing with your business. In order for you to be able to build your business, you have to have that blueprint for how you're going to build that business and how you're going to build a successful business. So you want to make sure that you have your business plan in place, and that you work it. You got to work your business plan, and that's the last part. That's part three of what we're going to be talking about, and that's working. You've got to be able to work your business plan. Working your business plan, that means implementing. What action steps are you going to implement in order for you to be able to have your business? You have to have people, you have to have a process, and you have to have a product. Those three things go into your business plan. What people are you going to have either working for you or working with you, because you need to have a team with you? What product is it that you're a product or service that you're going to have to be able to give to be offered to people? And then you have to have a system, which is your process. What process are you putting in place? And I can't say that enough. The importance of having a process. And I want everybody to, if you can, take process in the field there, because it is crucial that you have a process in place. And I don't know how many of you watch the show The Profit, and Shark Tank, but The Profit is one of the best shows for entrepreneurs to be able to watch and understand what it is and how important it is to have people, product, and the process, because that's what the host of the show talks about. He talks about having the right people, having the right product, and having the right process. Because if you don't have those three elements in your business, the chances of you being successful are not that great. So you want to make sure that you have that people, the process, and your product. And that's what your business plan is. Who the people are, who your other investors are. You may have partners that you have with your business. So you want to make sure that they're going to be a part of explained in you're going to have your product. You got to know your product. You should know your product backwards and forwards, your services backwards and forwards. When anybody, it's almost like a Google search. I know for me, what I do is if I'm out, whether I'm out at a networking event or if I'm out anywhere and I hear keywords, I'm like Google. If I hear keywords, I go right into my 30-second business pitch. Well, we did, I do this, or I couldn't know, I couldn't happen to, but over here you mentioned blah, 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 blah. Well, my name is, introduce myself, let them know who it is, what I do, let them know if I could be of service to them. Please don't hesitate to contact me. I always have either my business card, have my business cards or some kind of contact information with me so that I can share what it is that I do with those individuals, because you never know who might need your product, who might need your service. So you want to make sure that you understand it backwards and forwards. You should be able to explain who you are, what you do, how you do it within 30 seconds. Anybody in that's listening to me, please let me say that again. Within 30 seconds, you should be able to describe those things: who you are, what you do, and how you do it. Those three things. That quick, and that's what your business plan does for anybody that will be investing in you, that will be reading it or be a partner with you. They want to be able to know who you are, what you do, and how you're going to do it. Those are keys. So if y'all can type that in: who you are, what you do, how you do it. That's what I want you to make sure that you understand about your business plan. It should answer those three questions. I say it again: who you are, what you do, and how you do it.
That's right.
So part of working it is understanding that, but also part of working it is actually being in your industry, understanding your industry, and doing the research of your industry. And that's part of what you'll do before you write your business plan. You got to do your homework. You got to do the research for your particular industry, because you should know where your industry was, where it is now, and then where it's going to be in 5 years, in 10 years, because you always want to be in front of the bell curve. And y'all will hear me say it time and time again, that bell curve. You want to be in front of the bell curve. It's a lesson that I learned when I was in college. They hammered that into us in our major, in our hotel restaurant major, was who you are, what you do, and how you do it, and being in front of that bell curve, being ahead of the industry, thinking forward. You should always be thinking forward. So putting in that work is part of that, is doing the research. Also putting in that work is actually being at events like this, being on this webinar, so that you get information that you need in order to be able to be successful. You should always be learning. Always be learning about your industry. Always be learning about your product, how you can improve it, what technology is going on. All of those things that you can do to be able to make you better, to make your product better, to make your business better. So when you do those things, when you're pouring into yourself, when you're actually out at events and you're getting to know people, that's part of the work as well. Networking, that's a big part of the work. And we're going to be talking about marketing and branding next week. But part of that marketing and branding is being out there, being at events, attending webinars, attending seminars, attending workshops, symposiums. Those things did not only for you to learn, but also to get your name out there as well, because you want to make sure that you're doing it. That's a major key in doing the work, and implementing what it is that you have to do. And part of implementing the work, the last part of the implementing work is actually taking what you have in your business plan and actually applying it. Just doing what it is that you say you're going to do on paper. It does you no good to have a vision, does you no good to have a business plan, and then you not do anything with it and have it just sitting there. So you want to make sure that you take action on your business plan, that you actually say, okay, I said I was going to have this product out by this date. And you make sure you do those things, those action steps, in order for you to be able to make that happen. If you have if you tell a client that you're going to follow up with them by a particular time, then you do that. That's part of doing the work. That's part of implementation. All of those things tie in to you being able to be a successful business. And whether you are just beginning and trying to get your name out there, or whether you are a seasoned entrepreneur and you're still growing as a business, you're always doing that work because you're always pushing your business out there even further to grow and grow and grow. That's how every Fortune 500 company started off as a small business. Let me say that again. Every small business started. I read every Fortune 500 business started off as a small business. There's not one of them that was not a small business when it first started.
Okay.
So you have to say I have that same mentality that hey, you may be small, but
Mhm.
you're strategically growing and
Right.
growing. And when you put in that work, I promise you, if you put in the work, if you
Yeah.
put in the work, it will happen. So, and if
Got
you
it.
do you have anything that you want to add to that, please go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you, Leroy, that was really, really some good information. Now, guys, Leroy really focused on the importance of all those elements to know what you're selling, what type of, what is it that you're trying to do, and how important it is to have a business plan. And I'm going to kind of touch on some of those points on the how. So when he was talking about earlier in terms of making sure that you are structuring your business to know what your business is like, one of the very first things you want to do is really understand the concept of your business. What
Mm,
problem are you solving with your business? What kind of
mm,
service are you giving someone that someone will want? Because we can all come up with ideas, right? We can come up with ideas and understand, oh, this will be a great thing that we want to do. But how does the customer look at it? That is going to force you to start writing down some of the concepts that you're going to need to help build your business plan. Because the business plan is comprised of about, I don't know, 10 or 12 different major elements. But I can tell you that the major elements that you're going to need is the concept, the mission, vision, and goal of your business. What problem are you trying to solve that the customer wants to buy your service for? Okay. So that is the number one thing that you want to do. The second thing that you want to do is you also need to figure out who is your target, which we're going to get deep dive on part 3. But for the most part, you need to know, who are you targeting? Are you targeting someone, whatever group that is, you need to know who you're actually targeting for that. The third thing you want to do is figure out, what is your money generation going to look like when you are starting this business. So if you're looking at your concept and you're looking at your customers, you also got to find out how much money are you going to be able to generate from the concept that you're doing. All of that information is going to help you make up the preliminary thing of your business plan. And I just want to remind everybody again throughout this webinar that this webinar is for very new businesses and people who are having a business and still feel a little stuck. Sometimes you need to write this business plan down, as he said earlier, because as you are going through your business and you doing your trial and error, you're going to be having this document, what I call a living document. So you're going to be looking at the document over and over again to make sure that you are following the concepts that you originally thought. And what's going to happen is that you're going to realize that there are things in your business that you're going to have to change, alter, or you're going to have to add or remove, or maybe you just need to come up with a brand new concept. And that is going to lead to also trying to figure out, what is your business structure? Are you going to be a sole proprietorship, which is just one person that's just going to run the business and you don't have any staff or anything like that? Are you planning on being a limited liability company where you have maybe you and another person or partner, or maybe 2 or 3 other people, and you want to have some protection in your business? Or do you want to have a nonprofit or a corporation where you might have board of directors that's going to help guide you to doing your business? And then there's other little structures and legal things that you got to worry about with that. But when you look at your business concept, it's going to tell you exactly what your business structure is going to be. So knowing the concept from the beginning is going to allow you to be able to figure out what your business structure is going to be. Now, once you finish knowing what that is going to be, you're also going to look at how you're going to market your business. You're going to be looking at how you're going to keep track of all your finances. You're going to be looking at what team or what resources that you're going to need to help run your business. And all of these things are going to be written down and put as part of your business plan. So while you are building your business plan, you're going to realize that the key team that you're going to need, because somebody asked me last week, like, what kind of team do I need to set up at the business? And me and Leroy know, because we was at the Money Baltimore talking about that. Honestly, when you first start your business, you're not going to be able to afford anyone. I can tell you that straight up. No business person has the money to go out there and hire like a lawyer and all that. So this is when,
Unless your daddy got $1 million to give to you, you know what
yeah.
I'm
So
saying?
this is when you come to part 2 and part 3, because in part 2 and 3, we're going to be talking about exactly how do people who do business on the side is able to do marketing, is able to generate money, is able to do everything we can do as a very teeny small business, right? So once you, like we said, once you have your concept locked in, then you're going to get your business structure. You're going to understand that. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to your state or local business office and you're going to file the appropriate paperwork. Now, I can tell you right now, most states for article of incorporation, it will cost you about $100 to file that paperwork. But what that paperwork does is that it will solidify you that you are a legal business. If you are trying to run something out of your house and, and back 20 years ago, we used to be able to do that. It was called home-based businesses back then. And you can actually write off your taxes and stuff like that. But with the way today's taxes are made up these days, you have to be a legalized business to write off certain business expenses. So if you want to take advantage of those tax breaks, you have to go and fill out an article of corporation to make sure that, and also you have to do your state and local use tax sales so that you can take advantage of the tax breaks as a small business. And so what's really advantageous about that is that you're able to, one, make sure that you're not in any kind of legal tax problems. And number two, you're able to go out there and actually have that information on hand, because as Leroy said earlier, nobody's going to take you seriously if you do not have all the pieces and parts to your business. So again, business concept, business plan, then you're going to set up an article of incorporation. Okay. Once you set up your article of incorporation, you're going to immediately set up your EIN number, which is the IRS. You're going to go to irs.gov or .com or whatever it is, and you're going to
.gov,
file
yeah,
for
.gov.
ID number. This is critical because when you have these two things as a business, it opens the door for you to be able to apply to certain things as a business. The last thing you need is to be using your social security number to try to get business credit, because that is not what you want. Okay, you want to be able to use your EIN number and your business name and everything that's a legal name to be able to get things like, like leasing. You want to rent a space somewhere. You want it under your business name. You don't want it under your name, because then you become the liability for that. Okay, so you don't want, okay, so you want to get it, it's free, you don't have to pay anything. You just go to irs.gov and you will be able to get an EIN number, which is your employee identification number. Get that. The next thing you want to do is you want to go to the Dun and Bradstreet website and get a DUNS number. Now that number is your official business credit number. This is where your business credit is housed. So every time that you do business with someone that requires them to ask for your DUNS number, you can get credit for every time that you're doing something. That is absolutely critical for any small, I don't care how small you are. That is what you're going to need if you're going to be out there starting your business. Now you have your tax ID, you have your DUNS number, and you have your legal paper. Now, we had a conversation last week too about business names. And again, if you have any questions, please pop them up there. It looks like the questions are coming up. And if I miss your question, we'll definitely answer it. But the next thing you want to do is protect your business name. And before you even do that, going back to the concept period, you need to make sure that you go out there and thoroughly research who is using the business name that you thought of. Because with the millions of people out there, somebody probably thought of it first. So you want to go out there and search the United States Patent and Trademark Office. That's the first place you want to check to make sure that there are no active or past applications that have even remotely of your name, because the slightest conflict can cause you to go to court, have to fight, or who proved they had the name first. That's a lot of legal stuff you don't want to get wrapped up in. The second place you want to look is at your state or local business search engine site. In Maryland, we have the business search. We can go out there and search any business to see if that business had existed, and they keep all records of whether it's active or deactive. And you want to make sure that if any one of them are deactive, that doesn't mean that you can use that name. You still have to go out there and create a unique name for your business. Your name of your business is going to set the standard for your brand overall in your business. Okay, so we're going to talk about that in part 2. After you have all this information, you still have to do other stuff, right, Leroy? Because it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a lot of stuff.
Gotta do the work. You gotta do the work.
It's not easy. This is the hard. Matter of fact, this is probably the hardest part because it's all these different places, right? So the next thing you want to do is you want to go to the county clerk's office and you want to file for a service mark. Now, this is the first level trademark that you need for your business name. Now, what this would do for you is that for some reason, if you're not able to pay the $300 or $450 or whatever the cost is for the United States Patent and Trademark Office to officially trademark your business name, you can get a service mark or trademark for very, very low cost on the state level. Okay, so on the state level, you can get that. And so therefore, when it's time for you to get your money ready, right, to go and get your official, patent trademark, then you can say you use this mark first. Okay, so you want to have your EIN, your DUNS number, you want to have your article of incorporation, your trademark sent in, you want to have your sales and use tax, you want to have all that stuff, including your service and trademark on a state level. And then you can go to the United States Patent and Trademark Office and pay the fee to have your actual name protected. And you have to keep up on the annual renewals of that. Some of them are a few years, some of them are 5 years, some of them are 10 years. So you have to make sure that whatever one you choose, you are making sure that you are protecting your business. And the last part I'm going to say about that part is to get a binder and put all of that information in it. Put it in it, and then scan some of your documents and maybe have it somewhere where you can quickly get to it. Because sometimes when you are applying for business credit, or let's say you want to go for government contracting, okay, they're going to ask you, and when I say they, I'm not talking about a physical person, because with government contracting, you actually have to go through a whole slew of other stuff, which I'll talk about a little bit. And you have to give up all that information I just said. Okay, all that information I just said to start your business to be a legal business. And that is really the main core things that you need to know when you first open up your business. And I will say that at the end of the year, depending on when you started your business, you will be required to pay a state property tax, no matter if you made money or not. So like in the state of Maryland, you have to pay a $300 fee to file your property tax. And that's for any property like your computer, your printer, any equipment, any supplies that you may have used or bought or purchased for your business, whether you made money or not in your state. You have to pay that every single year. And you have to also call in to report your sales and use tax either on a quarterly basis or a monthly basis, whichever one your state requires. In the month, Maryland just changed theirs to quarterly. So in your state, it might be monthly that you have to either dial a number or you have to file in. So it's very important that you keep a binder with all that information in it so you can quickly go in to get that. So Leroy, did you want to, tie in on some of that stuff I just said there? So some additional information?
I think that I hope that people understand the importance of having your team. And one of the things that we didn't talk about was having with your business plan, you do want to make sure that you have an accountant, that you have an attorney, that you have a possibly a graphic person or IT person, I should say, not a graphic person, an IT person.
Have
Um,
graphics and an IT. You got to have both.
yeah. So because some may be able to do both, but you certainly want to make sure that you have an IT, and then your graphic person is going to be the one that actually is able to kind of develop your website. Because I can't stress enough, along with that business plan, a part of that business plan should be a website. You want to make sure that you have a website, and not just have any website. You want to make sure that when people go to the website, it looks very professional. It's going to
Yeah.
be something that's engaging, and have people to be able to, like we talked about, being in business. You want people to take you seriously. So you want to make sure
Right.
that your website is one that looks, professional, and that you are serious about what it is that you do. So having that team of individuals will be able to assist you, especially with the if you need assistance with the filing. If you need assistance with the taxes, I can't.
Do
It is so
it.
important. It is so
Do it.
important that you have those people around you, that if you don't know, all because you don't know all the intricacies of the tax laws and all of those things that are going on. So you want to make sure that you have someone on your team that does know that, and it's worth investing in having them. you know
Yes. Yes.
People say,
Absolutely.
well, I can't afford to have, to have an attorney, or to have an accountant. Well, can you afford not to?
Right.
Because
And
if if some you know
that point, Leroy, when you're talking about a team, right? Now, I will tell
hmm
you that you start your business, and I have to say this because I mean it happens to everybody, and it's not. It don't take it personally. That's the first thing I'm going to say is please don't take it personally. People are not going to always believe in what you do. They're not going to. They're going to see what you do. Hey, Gregory, how you doing? Make sure your website. That's right. Make sure your website designer works with a communication expert. That's correct. Okay, so
mm,
what I say is people are not always going to believe in what you do, and a lot of what I said in the last 20 minutes or 15 minutes you're going to be doing on your own. So you have to be your own team before you can realize who you really need on your team. Because like we said, you can go out there and get a lawyer, you can get a accountant, you can get all that stuff. But if those people don't have the same ideals and they're not on the same mission that you're on, it's not going to flow because what you're going to end up doing, you're going to end up spending money, not really articulating to that expert what you really need. Okay. So while
right,
you're going through process, you're going to be clear about what it is that you're going to need when you start going for an accountant and you're going to start going for a lawyer, a graphic designer, somebody that's going to help you. And you definitely want someone who's going to have your back. And I'm going to tell you, you got to be cold. You got to have thick skin. If the person who you hire is not helping you, you fire them and you find somebody else and you vet them. You call their references. You go out there and see who else what other customers they had. You make sure that they are not going to be wasting your time or wasting your money because you're a small business. You don't have either. So you just need to make sure that. So one of the other things
absolutely.
too, I on since we're going into this next round so we can stay on track is that when I talked about business structure early on for those folks who are thinking about getting a business or have a business and haven't yet legalized it, I'm just going to touch on briefly about the differences between a sole proprietorship and a LLC, okay, and a corporation, which also falls under nonprofit, okay, because I think it's very important that everybody understands the differences between the three structures so that you, Gregory said, fire, fire fast. Yes, we got to fire them real quick.
Real quick.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you are a sole proprietorship. Okay, that means you are alone. You're out there doing you're doing your grind. You have your Gmail up. Everybody is calling you to, for whatever kind of business service you're doing. You are liable for everything. Okay, when you are sole the proprietorship, that's exactly what it means. You have no fail safe. You're point of contact, you're a point of failure. You both contact and failure, okay? Which means that if someone doesn't like your service, they can come after you directly. They can sue you directly. They can take your personal assets if it comes to it, depending on what situation you're in. Your taxes are liable. Everything is liable. So you want to make sure that if you choose to want to be a sole proprietorship, right, that you need to understand the ramifications and the risk of being a sole proprietor. Okay. Especially if you are out there making deals and signing a lot of contracts. If you're out there signing a lot of contracts, you definitely do not want to be a sole proprietor. Okay. You want to be something that's going to help you with your business. So, with that said, the next one is a limited liability organization. Now, you only need two people to be in a limited liability, two partners, partnership or limited liability, which limited liability would give you a lot more flexibility. One, all of the stuff is not on you. Somebody comes after you, they can't come after you directly. They're going to come after your business. And of course, you go through the regular thing. But because you're keeping your records separate from your personal life, your taxes, your income, everything from your personal information, they can come after your business, but they won't be able to sue you. And so if you have someone who you really, 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 really trust to be in business with you, or, or something like that, that might be an option for you. Now, if you want to be in a corporation, like a nonprofit or something like that, then just know that with a corporation, that involves having a board of directors. Now, just because you're the founder of the organization or the CEO in a corporation, you can get voted out.
Absolutely. Say that again, please.
So if you decide that you want to be an S corporation, C corporation, or even a nonprofit, you need to make sure you understand that whoever you bring on board as your board, they will have the power or voting power to be able to vote you out if you're not performing. So those are just some things I just want to kind of touch on to make sure that everybody's clear on the difference, so that when you start thinking about doing your business, really kind of understand, one, the concept of your company, what service are you trying to provide, and what is the best structure for your business. And with the LLC particularly and the nonprofit, you want to also have a an operating agreement, and you're going to definitely need that for any kind of loans that you want to get. So if you are an LLC, you want to make sure that that operating agreement is going to be outlining everything that the members have responsibilities for that. So you definitely want to do that. And I'm not going to spend too much time talking about operating agreements because that can get boring. But I wanted to also, and I think I'll be able to do this, is I have a checklist that I'm going to try to upload in this group that will give people some additional hands-on information about where they should go to fill out all that stuff I just said in the thing. And also where you can go and register your name, where you can go do your property taxes. And I, for one, have information about Maryland, but if you kind of still look at this information, you can pretty much find it in your state. So whatever state that you're in, it's pretty much going to be the same type of process. The only difference is that I'm going to have the one that you're going to see in Maryland, but you can actually just take that information and find the one in your state. So Leroy, did you have anything else that you wanted to kind of talk about that you feel like, that we really need to kind of touch on, or that you think we might have missed in this first session?
Well, I think one of the things that when you talked about the team, it goes back to, and I was thinking about this as you were talking about it, when we talk about the accountants and the attorneys and all that stuff, you want to make sure that the individuals that you have on your team, and even when you get into hiring employees, that they understand your vision for your business. That's where that writing that vision becomes crucial, because you want people to buy into what your vision is, because this is your business. Now, when you have partners, you want to make sure that whoever you're partnering with, that they have the same vision, that you all know that you're going in the same direction. And that's what Ann was talking about. If people aren't heading in the same direction as you, if you're not, if they aren't doing the things that they're supposed to be doing and getting rid of them, then don't, you should not have any issue with sitting down, communicating with them that, hey, this isn't working, and you can have a conversation or two with them to see if things straighten out. You don't just want to just be automatically fire somebody, or say, you're gone, unless it's something really, just really bad. But you give them the opportunity so that they understand, and you should be doing that when you're sitting at the table, across the table from anybody that you're thinking about hiring, whether it's an attorney, whether it's a lawyer. You want to explain to them what your vision is, the
Right.
vision that you have, and you ask them, is, it do they see, can you want to make sure that they understand what your vision is, where you're trying to go, and if they can assist you in getting there.
Right. And you
And
know
if the
what? To that though, Leroy, is that not only do you want to make sure that they understand your vision, but they also have to be speaking your language. So when they are talking
right,
back with you about your vision, they should have so much clarity in the understanding of what you're doing, that their suggestions and their opinions matches what you were thinking, even if you couldn't really articulate it. And that's really important, because as I said in my Facebook Live the other day about knowing your sales pitch, if that person is really a true fit for your business, they will know exactly how they can help you and actually tell you the methods on how they're going to help
right,
you, so that you're comfortable with having that person in your business, or maybe partnering with them or hiring them to help you with your business. And
right.
that's really, really important. Now, the last piece that I kind of want to talk about real quick for the last 15 minutes is some of the other things that small businesses really should be looking out for and applying for, especially if you're a minority business out there, trying to do something bigger in the future, sort of working with the federal government, trying to get a contract, or doing any other type of voluntary work that involves the government. And so one of the things that you definitely will want to do is go out to sam.gov. Okay. After you get all that stuff I said earlier in the broadcast, you go to sam.gov, and then you fill out the information that is required. And it's going to ask you to fill out your EIN, your tax. It's going to ask you what type of business you are. It's going to assign you what they call the NASIC codes, the NA, the NI, or however you spell it. I'm going to put it down below. Don't judge me on not. It's the codes that the government use to categorize what your business is. Now, let me tell you why that's important. If you are in the service that you want to provide something for the federal government, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's cleaning, teaching, coaching, whatever. SAM.gov is the official website for all federal government agencies to see whether you are a qualified government agency. Now, before you do that, you need to go to the SBA.gov website, and you need to fill out your SBA certification. You do have a self-serve for women-owned businesses. So you can go out there and fill out the application to be certified as a woman-owned business, or a disadvantaged business, or maybe a hub zone business. Whatever certification that applies to you, you need to go out to sam.gov. Find out what you need to do it. It doesn't cost any money to do the application. It just takes your time and effort to actually sit down and read the information. The second thing you want to do is you want to go and get yourself a cage code. So once you go to sam.gov, it's going to ask you to go to a specific website where you can get what they call a cage code that matches your DUNS number and your SAM's ID. Those three things will tie in to the Small Business Administration, so that everything you do under the federal guidelines will follow you. So if you get a job somewhere where you land a contract, because I think I saw a post somewhere where somebody got a 5-year contract, which I thought was fabulous. This is what they had to do to get this contract, y'all. Okay, this is no joke. Running a business is business. So go out there to those websites as I talked about, and I'm definitely going to be posting that in the link below or up in the description so that people can have that information. Once you have your cage code, your certification, all that, I want you to start looking at your state and local district. So, like for example, in Prince George's County, they have what they call a certification to give people who have businesses in my county first dibs to bid on contracts. So you want to make sure that you check in with your state and local district to see if they have opportunities where you can just fill out a uniform application and be considered a local vendor. This will get you in the schools. This will get you in different places you never thought you'd be able to get into. That's what you need to do if you want to do your if you want to start your business. Yeah, well, thank you so much. Good information. So those are just some of the tidbits that I'm thinking as far as like if you're a business and you're trying to start something, because everybody's going to be looking at this playback and everybody got different backgrounds or whatever they're thinking. So I'm just trying to think of things that I went through that I can share. And I will tell you, like Leroy said, and I'll say it again, it is a lot of work, but it's so worth it in the end, because once you're out there, it's like Verizon. Once you install Verizon, it works. Once you do it, it works. It just goes out there. And then you don't have to kind of keep reiterating the same information. You don't have to keep going out there explaining to somebody why or how you run your business. Once they pull your credit, they're going to have everything about you. They're going to know what you have. They're going to know what you don't have. And it'll make your life that much easier. So what's the other stuff? Oh, definitely you want to also check with your local district to become a disadvantaged business enterprise, which is a DBE. Now I can tell you that the Department of Department of Transportation, I'm sorry, MDOT, Department of Transportation, or whatever department you have in your state, they have a certification that if you are a minority business owner or a woman minority business owner, you can fill out the application to be considered a disadvantage if you make so much money. And how you would tell if you're disadvantaged, if you go to the SBA.gov website, they will give you information. They have like tons of information there on how to consider your business as a small business and what is considered a woman-owned business, a disadvantaged business enterprise, or a woman-owned economically disadvantaged. You know, they got the whole acronym, Leroy. They got the whole acronym. So they have all these different ones. Now, the only reason why you would even care about any of that, because some of the contracts are specifically set aside for that. Like they have set aside for women, they have set aside for the disadvantaged and economically disadvantaged. So if you are under those specific categories, those are set aside opportunities that you can compete for. And they also have state and local offices where anything under $25,000, you can call the office and say, hey, do you have anything under $25,000? I know I'm going to start using that soon because I can see if they have anything. And without competition, they may just give it to you as long as you have everything that I just said in the system. Okay. So, and how I learned this, because like Leroy said, I go out to the business networking events. I go to where they have the small minority business or whatever business function that would give me information from the state and local governments on how to do stuff. And so I'm sharing that information with you guys in this group so that we can start getting our stuff out there. For me, I have my DBE application in. And yes, it's been a couple of months and I've just literally got my investigation like 3 weeks ago. So I'm waiting for mine to come through because I'm already set up as a federal government contractor. I'm just waiting to have certain things in place so that when I see a business opportunity or a contract opportunity, then I can go out there and apply for it, right? So Leroy, what else you got? I'm up here talking. That's a lot of stuff I just
like I told folks at the beginning of this, we were going to give you information that you're not going to get anywhere else. This is why we do what we do, because you have folks that that want to coach you, that want to teach you how to start a business and everything like that, but they aren't giving you those intricate steps, that intricate information that you're going to need in order to be able to take that, either that first step in as far as starting a business, or even that second, third step when you're in business. Because I'm sitting here listening to you and some of the stuff I didn't even know. So, so I'm like, but I'm not. I know part of it is about about federal contracts and stuff like that. And so that this is information that, hey, that I may come across folks that need that information, and it'll be right here at your fingertips for you. where where you're able to be able to do. And that's where the where I talked about the assignments. Remember, we don't think
Right.
we're not gonna let y'all leave without doing homework. So
That's right.
I hope you
I do
got your
some.
pen and pads together, because your assignments is to go look up this information that you need in order to be able to understand the legal entity that you want to have, the offices that you need to be able to go visit and be able to go to, and write down any financial obligations that you might have. So those are
And
your assignments tonight, to be able to go and do that, so that you
you.
understand that, so that you can position yourself for success. That's what this is all about. We're about
Right.
positioning you for success, giving you the
Mhm.
information, equipping you with it, so that you're able to be successful in starting your business. Because both Ann and I know about bumping our heads against the wall with doing this stuff. And so we're trying to make it as easy as possible for folks who are coming behind us. And that's our responsibility, is to make it easier for you, so that there's some things that you won't have to bump your head against the wall against. There are going to
See
be
that
things that you encounter, but
is
these are some of the things that we're giving you, that you won't have to bump your head against the wall. Well, where do I go for this and where do I go for that? Because all of these things we had to find out ourselves. there
is
really
oh.
wasn't too many folks telling us about this stuff. Believe that.
Okay, you know what? Yes, if you can meet with an SBA counselor, they are there to help you. Now, some people are more tech savvy. Like I'm more tech savvy because I have a technical background. But if you're not that tech savvy, do like JC just said, like Joan just said. Go out there, call and make an appointment to SBA and sit down with somebody. And matter of fact, if you go to SBA, they will give you some locations where you can look up and find those counselors in your state that they
Mm.
have offices like all throughout the United States that you can actually sit down and talk to them about what you're trying to do, and they can literally walk you through the process. Some people just don't want to sit there and read all that stuff. I get it, because it's a lot of paperwork. But if you can go down there and just like say, hey, here's what I'm thinking, what do I need to do, find yourself somebody who you could tag on to at the SBA and get them to help you do do that stuff. So what I want to do is, because we're about to run out of time here, is I'm going to do a quick summary about everything that we talked about in this first session, because part one is really about conceptualizing your business, implementing, working, all that. So as you know, Leroy started with the top of the hour, the importance of making sure that you understand the vision, the concept, the strategy, and the mission of your business. That is critical to understanding what you need to do to start your business. What problem are you solving? What service can you provide to someone that someone will want to pay for your service or want to be a part of? Okay. You can't just go out there and do any kind of business. You got to really think it through. You want to write it down, think about it, put it away, come back, look at it, do it again. Start developing. This is the first part of developing your business plan. Okay. Start looking at the resources that you're going to need. Are you going to need a web designer? Are you going to need an accountant? Are you going to need all the people in your team? We know, I think I got somebody, tax professor. I think I just saw Chanel pop on here a little while ago. Make sure that if there's anything that you need, use this group. That's why I created this group, not just to tell people about the podcast. That's not the only reason. The whole reason that this group is for us to educate ourselves. So we have so many people in this group. We have tax accountants, we have lawyers, we have everybody in this group who you can ask for help. That's the whole reason why we got this group. So you know what you need. People in it, we got 300 and almost 10 people in this group. Let's start using some of these people in this group, right?
Boom.
Thing you want to do is you want
It
to start
is.
business structure. What kind of business structure do you want to be? Do you want to be a sole proprietor? You know, that's a lot of risk. Do you want to be a LLC, which is a really good thing? You only need one partner to help you get that started, and then you can grow after that. Do you want to be a corporation or a nonprofit? That means you will have to have a board of directors, which means you have to also follow the guidelines of the board, and you won't have total control of that organization. That is very critical in the future of your business, not the immediate start of your business, but the future of your business. Because if the business starting to go one way and the board of directors is going somewhere else, you can find yourself
Mm.
without being an executive director or a president or CEO at that job. And that's the same for nonprofit. You also want to start looking at going to sam.gov to get yourself signed up there. You want to go to the Dun and Bradstreet website, get yourself a DUNS number so that you can start your business credit. You also want to get an EIN number, and you want to legalize your business by going to your state website and filling out an article of incorporation, a trademark application, a state service mark application. And when you're ready, you're going to go to the USPTO, the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and you're going to get yourself a trademark to protect your business brand. And before you spend your money, make sure you do some research to understand who is using it first. Make sure nobody else is using it so that you can protect and build your brand. From there, you're going to start looking at other options within your state and your local city district. You're going to start going to the SBA website again, get with somebody to see if you can qualify for any of the certifications that they have. If you are a disadvantaged business, a woman-owned business, a minority and women-owned business, and all that above, you're going to go to the MDOT, the Department of Transportation, and you're going to see what certifications they have there, because it is not the same as the SBA. SBA have their own thing. So you want to make sure that you qualify, because if you ever decide that you want to contract with the federal government in any way, it doesn't matter if it's from the local schools all the way up to the major federal government, anybody, you have to be set up through the SAM system, which is going to guide you to get a cage code. Now, I know that is a lot of information. So again, what I'm going to try to do in this group, if it allows me to do it, is I'm going to post our checklist that we had when we did this webinar last year, where you can get information on everything we just talked about today on starting your business. If you live in another state, just go to the corresponding state and find that information for your state so you can get started. And if you have any questions, please reach out to Leroy or myself. We'll be happy to answer the questions. Type it down here below. We'd love to hear your feedback if you want to see more of this kind of stuff. Also, we want you to tap in next Thursday, because we're going to talk about branding, which is, I know everybody loves branding. How do I market my business? What can I do as a small business with no money? Market my business, and I'm very good at it. So we're gonna share with you some of our secrets. Leroy, you got to give up your secret, man. Don't give it up. Anyway, I'm gonna give up our secrets on what you can do to help market your business on a very low budget or no money, because when you first start out, you don't have any money. And then we definitely want you to definitely come back for part 3 on the 15th, where we're going to talk about clientele for your business. These are 3 major pieces you need for your business. And again, we're going to have more of these type of webinars. As you can see, I got to save the date in here. We're going to talk about career and entrepreneur security. I got a special guest coming up for that. So we want to make sure you do that. And if you have any other questions regarding this webinar, please leave it down below. Send me and Leroy. We will be happy to help you. And also like and share this video to as many people as possible, and invite them to come to the group.
Share. Please share it. Let folks know if you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, please don't say nothing.
but enjoy it. Tell me what you like, because here's the thing: we can only be valuable to you if you tell us what you don't do. Like, now, I'm not going to be hurt. Trust me, my family's not going to be hurt. Well, it's going to make me better.
What we say, we have to have tough skin. You got to have tough skin.
So share and like, and I will definitely put this information in there for everybody to have. And if anybody want to share anything else that will be helpful in relation to this video, please do. And we're going to go ahead on and say good night.
If you have any, don't hesitate. If you have any questions, please put them down in there, because we'll go back and we'll go through and we'll get those answers to you up in here. So we want people to be able to benefit from being a part of this group, because like Ann said, that was why she started it. And we want to make sure that, like I started saying, we want your 2018 to be better than your 2017. Because we what, Ann?
Thank you, Leroy. Thank you for everybody who watched this with us, and we really appreciate you. And we will see you next Thursday, same bat time, same bat
Same
channel.
bad channel. There it is. We on a mission, y'all. 2018. Let's go.